A very good morning. Today is 13 July 2020. In this video, we will be discussing the editorial analysis of the Hindu newspaper. There are three articles to be discussed. The first article is on the European Union and China dilemma. The second article is on hardly smart about urban healthcare. The third article is on the solar power. India's solar strategy should look at tapping the best globally to make it locally. If you are new to my channel, I request you all to subscribe so that you will not miss any further updates. I welcome you all to Wi-Fi se Study Karo. I am Prashant. This is a cartoon of the day which clearly depicts that police should obey the law and order. It is regarding the recent custodial deaths and brutal activity by the police all over India. First article is on sum and substance of European Union's China dilemma. So first we get into this article. Before we get into this article, we will also see the European Union, which consists of 27 members of the states, and it consists of 6 core states, that is Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands and West Germany. This article is on Europe and China have been a major partners for the generations. According to the Global Office of International Comparison Program at the World Bank, China and European Union jointly account for nearly 35% of global GDP in PPP terms. Europe championed China's case of WTO, that is World Trade Organization membership, and China supported the European project. A single example is sufficient to demonstrate how China critically is a European prosperity. Between 1995 and 2012, Germany, Europe's economic powerhouse, enhanced its industrial value by 37%, the largest chunk of which came from supply chains not in United States but in China. The presumption behind it is therefore, and when on June 9th, Joseph Borrell, the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, publicly proclaimed that China is without a doubt one of the key global players, they also have to engage with China to achieve the global objectives based on the interests and values. A local assumption might have been they're unlikely to be changed in the Europe-China relations after the novel coronavirus pandemic. Such a superficial impression is reinforced by European statements that they will not choose sides besides or between the United States and China. Yet any such presumption bears closer examination. In March 2019, the European Union Commission published a strategic outlook describing China as simultaneously a cooperative partner, an economic competitor and a systematic rival, promoting alternative models of governance. This was the product for the long process of distillation, during which the political and security dimensions began to jostle with the economics that have been the primary determinant of China-European Union ties for the 2 decades. The red flag goes up. This is regarding there was a growing appreciation that the balance of challenges and opportunities presented by China were shifting as its economic power and concatenate political influence grew with unprecedented scale and speed, and in the ways of concerned European security. China's efforts to cultivate separate European sub-constituencies like 16+1 format with the Central and Eastern European states, and the meeting with the Nordics and the Southern Europeans, in the sailing of PLA Navy into Baltic Sea for the joint exercises with Russia in 2017, cross-sectoral hybrid threats including the information operations in European countries, Chinese behavior in the South China Sea and Indian Ocean, and its targeted acquisition of key high technology companies such as KUKA in Germany or key ports like Piraeus in Greece began to raise red flags in Europe. China's economic and financial practices backed by strategic motives threatened unity and the European project itself. since it appeared to undo their efforts in terms of connectivity, regularity, framework, and building of the single European entity. Thus, even before the pandemic, the strategic outlook recommended that the European Union should shift towards a more realistic and assertive and multi-affected approach to China. China's actions in the first half of 2020 have sharpened such contradictions. Its early handling of COVID-19, and even more important is that the clumsy Chinese efforts to use confusion inside Europe to their propaganda advantage led to European Union to make a rare blunt accusation against China on June 10, 2020. Foreign actors and certain third countries, in particular Russia and China, have engaged in targeted influence operations and disinformation campaigns around COVID-19 in European Union, its neighborhood, and globally, seeking to undermine democratic debate and exacerbate the social polarization and improve their own image of COVID-19 context. China's aggressive accusations in the South China Sea, on the line of actual control with India and in Hong Kong, another important among the, also gained European eyeballs so much that even that critical China remains European Economic Health and European Union Commission President after the virtual summit with Chinese Premier on June 22, 2020 said that Europe's relations with China are simultaneously one of the most strategically important and one of the most challenging that we have. This is said by the European Dilemma. The determinants and focus now is that European debate is no longer simply about the market access, industrial subsidies, or the capacity in steel or high-tech industries, and of the IPR and Chinese assertive approach to the security, resilience, and stability of digital network. It has also begun to turn towards how to balance economic codependency and co-prosperity with China's strategic global intentions and efforts to seek military supremacy and its bearing of European security in the trinity of determinants identified by European Union in March 2019, namely negotiation partner, economic competitor, and systematic rival. The last dimensions is gradually becoming the dominant political narrative. China also views Brussels in increasingly agnominity or agnostic. Yuan, president of China, institutes a contemporary international relations which belongs to China's intelligence services, had opined in a stellar article of June 17 titled that coronavirus pandemic and once in a century change, the Europe's star is fading. Ironically, the retreat of US from the global leadership is providing Chinese with the means to take advantage even when no longer deem it's to strategic interests support that European project. The sentiments after the pandemic, none of this should lead to interference that EU will follow US is decoupling or join and against China camp. The European Union Chamber of Commerce of China, which recently released its Business Confidence Survey 2020, which says that most European businesses are chiefly in China for China. European companies still hope that Chinese President Xi Jinping will use the pandemic to make the fundamental reforms in the way that it was done previously. European companies will still regard China as the biggest potential market, yet the pandemic had also triggered calls for diversifying European business away from the over-reliance on any single market. The deterioration relation between China and US is causing many new investors to look for alternative investment spaces if either the Chinese fail to restore the end of the global supply chains or the world demand command cannot be revived. More companies will tend to look elsewhere. What is the role for the India? Then it is an opportune time for India-US relationship, but only if we do not waste the crisis. Political conditions are favorable, especially after the withdrawal of United Kingdom. The Europeans recognize India's role is helping provide peace and prosperity in Indo-Pacific. They also see a great potential in working together on technologies and issues of the future. But we are not only the economic alternative for Europe in the aftermath of COVID-19. If the board-based trade and investment agreement can be put back on track. At the very least, we conclude that new investment agreement, and if we are ready to join high technology collaboration including 5G and artificial intelligence, we may also be able to align our stars. This will require imagination from other side, but Euro will also need to change its position on trade in goods and be ready to accommodate India on services. The opportunity for India and European Union to build partnership that is both economic and strategic is therefore for taking the post-COVID-19 strategic scenario. This article says that the sum and substance of European Union and Chinese dilemma, how India can take an advantage of this criteria or scenario. This article was penned by Vijay Gokhale, who is a former Secretary of India and a former ambassador to Germany and to China. The next article is on novel coronavirus pandemic and about urban healthcare system. The novel coronavirus had largely been an urban crisis so far, which mitigates such Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai accounting for most of the COVID-19 positive cases. India sites are not only facing the public health crisis but also larger emergency of economic issues and livelihoods. A high percentage of urban residents have lost employment during this lockdown and continue to face an uncertain future. So are Indian cities equipped to deal with the pandemic and its aftermath? Still an urban dream, over the last decades and a half, cities have started receiving more potentially or policy attention from the government. Dedicated national level programs on urban development, the Smart City Mission, a flagship program by Narendra Modi led National Democratic Alliance (NDA) government, completed 5 years in June 2020. The mission had also sought to make 100 selected cities smart, primarily through an area-based development model, which with a small portion of the city would be upgraded by retrofittation or redevelopment. 5 years after the launch, the enthusiasm regarding the smart city seems to have waned off. While the smart cities and bullet trains were buzzwords in the initial years, in the terms of India government over the last few years, there had been hardly been any mention about them in the top political leadership. Many of the projects undertaken under the Smart City missions are behind schedule. According to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, around 5,151 projects, smart city projects across the 100 cities, while around 4,700 projects have been tendered. Only 1,638 projects have been completed. In terms of expenditure and the total investment, it is around 2 lakh crore rupees, and only the worth of 26,000 crores have been completed. Hence, the idea of completing transformation India cities into smart cities within the 5 years now seems to be a pipe dream. A blind spot, most of these smart cities are now reeling into devastation caused by COVID-19. Some cities have been using the integrated command and control centers created by the Smart City mission as war rooms for monitoring real-time data regarding the spread of virus. However, tackling the larger public health and economic fallout remains a more difficult challenge. In fact, the Smart City mission have also a short shrift to basic services such as public health. An analysis of the Smart City project under the mission shows that only 69 of 5,000 projects undertaken under the mission were of health infrastructure. The projects are also estimated cost of 2,000 crores, amounting just for about 1% of total mission cost. Hence, the public health seems to have major blind spot on India's smart city dreams. While one could argue that health infrastructure is not a core element of the smart city, the smart city mission was never focused merely on technology. It also had stated aiming to improve the quality of life of urban residents. Further, public health is an essential local government function in India's constitutional scheme. As per the 12th schedule of the constitution introduced by 74th amendment, public health is one of the 18 functions that are developed or devolved of the municipalities. However, the public health infrastructure of the cities have often been neglected over the years, and the new programs such as Smart City Mission have further driven local governments away from their core responsibilities. The strengthening local capabilities. The COVID-19 crisis have exposed the weakness of the institution and human capacity of Indian cities to handle the public health emergency. Despite the renewed policy focus on cities, India's urban local bodies continue to be financially and administratively weak and heavily understaffed. These are also the high-level vacancies accredited social health activists visit, that is ASHA workers, the frontline public health workers carrying out contact tracing in urban areas, especially in COVID-19 hotspot cities such as Mumbai. The relative success of the Kerala in containing the pandemic has shown how decentralized the political and administrative system with a strong local government and health investment, a high investment in local public health care can be effective. In the absence of such participative local government institutions, authorities in some cities have roped in resident welfare associations to monitor COVID-19 cases. In the process, resident welfare associations have become emboldened and also often imposing draconian rules as they exercise a form of private authoritarian in their neighborhoods. To tackle the COVID-19 crisis, it is important to strengthen local government capacities, invest heavily in urban public health systems, such as to promote programs that improve the livelihood and urban vulnerable communities. The smart city mission, with its skewed priorities and parallel governance structures of special purpose vehicles, offer a little hope in this regard. Instead, the programs such as National Urban Livelihood Mission and National Urban Health Mission, which have lately received limited focus on resources, need to be strengthened. There is also a thinking of jobs. Further, it is time to consider the introduction of National Urban Employment Guarantee program that assures jobs for urban residents and strengthen the capacities of the urban local bodies of Kerala, been running such a scheme since 2010, and such states of Odisha, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand have also recently launched similar initiatives in the wake of COVID-19 crisis, and Indian cities face an unprecedented challenge. It is important to get the priorities of urban development right and invest in programs that improve the health and livelihood of the residents. This is regarding hardly smart about the urban health care. They need to revamp and reconsider the implementing of the job schemes rather than focusing on smart city. The next article is on India's solar strategy that is recently launched in Madhya Pradesh. Prime Minister Modi stated to resolve the energy of the sun to substantially power the economy and everyday life is welcomed, but because it could help the chart a green ideal for future. He also restated that the case of greater reliance on social power or solar power for energy and as a path of self-reliant industrialization, an inauguration of around 750 megawatt photovoltaic project at Rewa in Madhya Pradesh last week, but as he would recognize the idea of building a domestic solar manufacturing industry that delivers increasing volumes of quality photovoltaic cell modules and associated equipment in the long is also a truth. India's installed base that the green power source is about 35 gigawatt, and its projected addition of the capacity of until 2024 in COVID-19 affected future is estimated to be to be in order of around 50 gigawatt. Viewed against the goals set 5 years ago for the Paris Agreement on climate in India, installation of 100 gigawatts of solar power by 2022, there could be a sharp deficit. Combined with the low domestic cell manufacturing capacity, that is 3.1 gigawatt last year, and heavy reliance on China, high ambition must now be supported by aggressive official policy. The Chinese story is on one side steady rise from insignificant manufacturing capabilities since 1990s, the virtual dominance through active government support in identifying and acquiring top technological globally importing critical raw materials such as polysilicon, acquiring social manufacturers abroad and investing in a third country with a ready capability. Importantly, the domestic market was treated with a great importance while promoting exports. The pandemic presented a critical opportunity of India to plan Green Ideal or Green Deal The lines of EU has committed itself to the future growth of employment should align itself to environmental and sustainability objectives, particularly in energy production, away from dirty fuels such as coal. There is no better time than now to make solar energy a strategic sector, giving it a much more important as defense. As the architect of International Solar Alliance, which attracted about 120 nations at its launch, India needs to show a leadership to advance the manufacture and absorption of solar photovoltaic infrastructure in low and middle income countries. The key requirement are integrated policies fully supported by the states. Industry must get help to set up facilities and avail low-cost financing, both important elements in Chinese rise, and be able to invest in intellectual property. The forward-looking program should also look at emerging trends in the deploying solar innovatively. These include newer technological such as aesthetic photovoltaic window and roof tiles for building multi-role urban structures, and greater use of residential and commercial buildings to deploy more panels. Rapid progress requires a strategic shift to aid competitive domestic manufacturing. This is regarding the India's solar strategy, how they should look of tapping the best at global level and also making local level. That's the end of article discussion. There is another article regarding the museum to mosque. Turkey is also reopening old religious wounds by changing the status of Hagia Sophia. This is regarding Turkey. If you want to get the updates like this, please do subscribe. This is my channel YFSS Study Karo. You can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook page YFSS Study Karo, and YFSS Study Karo. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.